Now, among the main issues discussed was the humanitarian crisis. Somalia is suffering from the worst famine in 60 years. More than 2.3 million people depend on food aid. Fighting piracy in Somali waters was also a top issue. 159 hostages being held by pirates. These acts of piracy are believed to cost the world economy around $7 billion a year. And another top priority at the conference was what to do about the armed group al-Shabaab. It suffered setbacks in recent days, but still controls large swathes of the country. Simon McGregor-Wood is live at the London conference. A long list of challenges, Simon. How will the decisions that have been taken at this conference address some of these thorny issues?
Move slightly this way.
Well, I think one of the key things that emerged from the closing press conference, British Prime Minister David Cameron alongside his Somalian counterpart, was how they placed the political process, the viable political alternative to this current transitional government, at front and centre. Whole range of issues: security, piracy, humanitarian issues, but politics above all is the key issue because it has this urgent timetable. This current administration ends in August. Its mandate will not be extended. That was made clear repeatedly. So the onus, if you like, is rather back on the Somalis themselves to come up with a viable government for the first time, of course, since 1991.
The London conference was billed as focusing on a range of challenges facing Somalia, but at his closing press conference, Prime Minister David Cameron made it clear that a viable political process was the key objective.
And I think what's been remarkable about this conference is it's not just about aid, it's not just about development, it's not just about piracy, it's not just about terrorism, it's about all of those things. But at its heart is an understanding that none of those measures will work without proper political progress in Somalia.
The conference, not the first and probably not the last, was convened at a critical moment in Somalia's history. The current transitional government's mandate expires in August. A viable alternative has to be found soon. Not represented here was the militant Islamist group al-Shabaab, under pressure now, but still in control of vast areas of the country. The country's Prime Minister said he needed more help in fighting them.
We welcome targeted airstrikes against al-qaeda in Somalia. However, the protection of the safety and the lives and the property of the Somali people is also very important. Therefore, we have to avoid any injury or death of lives of the people of Somalia.
David Cameron urged those engaged in violence to join the political process.
Let me be absolutely clear. There will be no negotiation with terrorists, but there will be an opportunity via a proper programme for those who are willing to reject violence and turn away from al-Shabaab to join the political process.
The world has grown rather weary of international diplomatic efforts to change the situation on the ground in Somalia, but delegates here claim things have for the first time in many years improved, and it's a foundation that needs to be built on quickly.
Some say the voices of ordinary Somalis have been too often ignored. Al Jazeera has sought to gauge their opinions through text messages.
The conference in London is not one that will bring advantages to the Somali people.
We witnessed the worst a human can do to a fellow human being. This will always remain a scar on our minds.
Somalia is known to the world for piracy, terrorism and famine. This is all we are contributing at the moment. As a youth, I hope we will make the change needed in Somalia.
The leaders here say there's no magic fix to Somalia's problems, but promise they're in this for the long haul. There will be yet another conference in June in Istanbul.